Sir, General Gallagher? Sir. Sir. Commander of the Sri Lanka Army, serving and retired senior officers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to day 2 of the seminar, Defeating Terrorism, the Sri Lankan Experience. Yesterday, we had a very broad overview of counterterrorism with a discussion on intelligence aspect. We had a series of wonderful presentations. Both local and international speakers shared their knowledge, expertise, and experience with all of us. Today, we will get to the heart of the matter and discuss humanitarian operations in detail. We are fortunate to hear the unfolding of the battles from the formation commanders who served in the field during that time. The first session of the day will be chaired by Major General Nandanu Udawatta, who commanded a division during humanitarian operations. Major General Udawatta is an army officer with 30 years of military experience, and during his unblemished and illustrious military career in the army, he has held many key command, staff, and instructional appointments. His operational contributions over a period of 30 years is immense. General Udawatta commanded 5-9 Division during humanitarian operations, and immediately after that, he was appointed as the Commander Security Forces Mullaitivu and at present he is commanding the security forces in Kilinochchi. General Udawatta is a graduate of Army Command and Staff College, Pakistan, and just last year he graduated from the National Defence College, India, as a member of the 50th National Defence College course. He has been decorated with many service medals, including the Gallantry Medal, Rana Sura Padakkama, for his bravery in battle. It's my pleasure, and I consider it an honor, to hand over the proceedings to General Nandana Udawatta. Over to you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On 18th May 2009, Sri Lanka reached a golden milestone in the annals of military history when it became the first country to eradicate terrorism comprehensively in the 21st century. This historic feat achieved by the valiant security forces of Sri Lanka was spearheaded by the army, supported by the sister services. The significance of the campaign should be viewed in the backdrop of the fact that the liberation tigers of Tamil Eelam had developed into an insurgent army possessing subconventional warfare capabilities, territorial control and near-parallel governance, supported by a reputation of being the world's most ruthless and dangerous terrorist organization. The impossible, as propagated by many parties with vested interest, was made possible by the decisive, enduring and unwavering leadership of His Excellency the President. The cohesive modeling of the political and military strategy by the Secretary of Defense, abundantly supported by the will of the nation, and an innovative application of military force. Before proceeding any further, let us hear what His Excellency Mahinda Rajapaksa, the President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, stated on this historic day. I quote, "The victory achieved was not won easily, but at a great cost. With supreme sacrifices of our valiant armed forces, who sometimes did not even get the opportunity to change their uniform for weeks. However, they fought in the ditches, swamps, and had to destroy embankments over 12 feet high, cross lagoons. But they did not give up till the final victory over the terrorists was achieved and the whole country brought under the national flag." Unquote. Throughout the history of Sri Lanka, there was peace and harmony amongst all communities throughout the country. Notwithstanding a few disagreements on governance in the post-independence era. But the idealistic objective of the LTTE to create a separate homeland for the Tamil was flawed at its inception, as they were not the sole representatives of Tamil destiny, and ethnic separation had no place in the region. The killing of every prominent Tamil politician seeking a democratic solution with regard to Tamil issues and elimination of other moderate groups are the best examples of the sadistic psyche of Prabhakaran, who could not be convinced of the path of peaceful negotiations. Failure of all peace negotiations initiated by successive Sri Lankan governments due to the intransigence of Prabhakaran further exacerbated the problem Further, though elements of Tamil diaspora living in